I have a very special treat for you today. Very quickly, I want to introduce myself to people who might be watching for the first time. My name is Rebekah Borucki, and I have a website called BEXLIFE.com where I teach people how to find bliss every single day. And my vehicle is meditation. That's what I teach. I'm a meditation guide. I'm also a yoga teacher, and I also talk about general motivation and a lot about my own life, and that's why my blog is called BEXLIFE, because it's my life. And I feel that it is my duty, it's my purpose, it's my mission to teach through sharing my experiences. So that's why I do it. It's not because I'm some narcissist maniac. So that's the way that I feel most comfortable teaching, is just by sharing my own experiences. And I'm so grateful for all of you showing up every single day. I'm here from Monday through Thursday at 11:11 a.m. Eastern, but today is going to be a little bit different. I'm giving you a little taste of the coaching that I provide in my group coaching experience called Block to Bliss. And what I do in this group coaching, even though I am the leader, I am the teacher, and it's all going to come out in what I'm about to teach you right now, why I'm saying that, is the way that I teach is also bringing over my personal experiences. So it is a very intimate setting where people share safely, but also confidently, their deepest, darkest secrets, their deepest, juiciest desires, and we support each other. And then I guide you through creating a plan that allows them to come true. And I know that sounds like a big, lofty goal, but it is absolutely the work that we do there. And my group members, the participants, are super successful. All of them have been successful in really creating some amazing results for themselves. And I'm so confident in the program, and it is the best work that I've ever done in my life. And I know it works because it's what I have used in my own life and continue to use as a practice every single day. So the link for that is in the video description, just to read more, to apply to the program, to get all the details. And I'm excited to say that because the flu hit my house like a plague and almost everybody went down with it, 3 of the 5 kids and myself, that I'm extending the early bird, because I really didn't promote it as well as I should, the early bird of $200 off until the end of the month of February. And the actual program starts on April 15th. So this is a super early bird, but it's great if you get in early, because I have some communication with you before the actual program starts. So that is until February 28th of this year. That it's $200 off. The spots are limited. I'm really hoping I don't sell it out at the early bird price, but that is a distinct possibility. And what I'm offering you today is some of the work that I've done, and this is what I do in the program too. I share my own work and my own process through the steps that I'm going to take you through. And today's a good one because it's about lying, the lies that we tell ourselves when we work ourselves into those tizzies of anxiety, or into those depths of depression or depressive behaviors or depressive feelings, and then how to get yourself out of it. Because the purpose of the work that I do in the program, and then also in my private Facebook community, which is linked in the video description, the work that I do is based on becoming, or the purpose of it is becoming a leader through your own healing. And that could be a leader of self, a leader of your small community or your family, a leader of your greater community, like your church or an organization that's local to you, and then even a world leader. So you can choose the type of leader that you want to become, but the purpose is to be able to lead others and yourself to a greater existence, to a higher purpose, and to really be a part of a community that is dedicated to the growth and the elevation of humanity and the greater good. So we do that for you. If you don't feel like you're a leader, or you don't feel like you're someone that can really lift yourself up out of whatever struggle or obstacle or feeling that you're facing, you will become that. And here's what I want you to do today for yourself. And then I'll give you an example of what I've done. And this is deeply personal. This is my real work that I really do. And I want you to accept this as an offering of vulnerability and truthfulness from me to you, because I love you and I want this for you. I want you to be able to do this for yourself. And I'm just going to take a second to say hello to everyone who's saying hello. Hello, Melody. And oh, you love orange on me? Second chakra. I know, right? I'm like I'm really feeling the fire today, so I'm putting on the orange, and I love it too. I love all of those fiery root and solar plexus and all those like sexy chakra areas. So I'm feeling it today. Hello, Rosemary and Shelby. I love that name. And you've shared my book with everyone you know. Thank you so much. I have to tell you, just really quick, I'm going to go on a side note. It is the greatest compliment. I love the positive reviews on Amazon, and I love when people say that they love my book, but it is the greatest compliment when people say, I bought this for my daughter, I bought it for a friend, or I told my church group about it. Like, I love when you share my book with the people that you love. That means so much. That is hugely gratifying for me. It is such fantastic validation, and I gotta live for it. So thank you so much for sharing my book, Shelby. Okay, so I'm going to share with you what it's called, or what is called a loop, or hold on a second, I have to find it, or a negative train of thought that I get caught up with, okay? And this is me, honest work that I've done privately. I wasn't intending to share it, but when I was thinking about what I wanted to share with you today, I was like, oh my gosh, I have to share with them this thought train, this negative thought train that I was on. And I have 9 of them. I have 9 loops that I go on. And my practice is when I'm on a loop, I have to write out exactly what I'm feeling in the moment that I'm on the loop, that I'm in that place of obsessive thought or negative obsessive thought, and be truthful and vulnerable, as humiliating and embarrassing as it feels even to me, right? Like sometimes I get embarrassed all by myself, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm saying this stuff. So that's the first part of the practice. And then the second part of the practice is to write back, to talk back to that negative thought train, to that loop, and shake myself into reality, right? Because it is so important to understand the difference between fantasy and reality. And you're going to hear that when I explain this to you. So hold on tight and listen to this. I'm a little bit nervous telling you guys this, but it's in my practice to be truthful, vulnerable, and open with you. This is how I teach. This is my practice. So here I go. And by the way, I wrote this one this morning. After I opened up an email about a very successful meditation guide in my space who I actually adore and love, and who is a good friend of mine. And this is where my thought train took me, and this is what I wrote back to myself. I'm getting to a better position here with my laptop. Loop, this is the loop, and this is the thought. You don't have what it takes to make it to the top. You don't have what it takes to make it to the top. This is often triggered by seeing someone in my space or industry who is performing on a high level. I feel jealous and defeated, and then I feel ashamed by those feelings. I tell myself that I'll never have the know-how, connections, look, clothes, money, education, or sophistication to be accepted into the circles that will allow me to succeed on a big scale. I immediately recall times during my childhood when I felt most out of place or conspicuously poor. I feel the same shame and embarrassment, and then I tell myself that this is who I am and that it will never be any different. So for those of you who don't know, I was raised in poverty, in a poverty mindset. I talked about this on yesterday's 11/11, and this is a haunt, and this is something that we go over in the group coaching and Block to Bliss that repeats for me. It repeats as a theme throughout my life. I'm sure that many of you on here right now can relate to that. You see yourself in these feelings, in these words, and if you do, comment. I love your comments. I answer them. I live for them. Which is probably the wrong words, but I love knowing that I connect with you because that's what it's all about. So if you see yourself in these words, comment, let me know. And I just want to take a quick moment to say hello. Hello, Tammy. Hello, Edson. And Patrick repeated back, you do not have what it takes to make it to the top. And yes, so I'm glad that you heard me. This is the conversation that I have back with myself. This is where I say, as a leader of self, as a leader of self who has been through the healing process, that understands what is true and what is not true, who understands the difference between fantasy and reality, who can recognize when I'm telling a story that is separate from the truth. This is the person who I am today, operating at a higher vibration, a person who does the work, saying, what the hell? Talk back. This is a fantasy that you have created that doesn't look at all like the reality of what you've experienced. It's like, STFU, why are you trying to front? And this is the conversation. You have been accepted and celebrated in every circle you've entered. People you respect come to you for advice and constantly offer their help. The people you want to serve follow you, buy your products, and seek your expertise. You are constantly getting opportunities your peers wish they had. No matter how you feel inside, you always present yourself in a professional, put-together way. People like you and like being around you. And before you go on the internet and look at what other people are doing, listen to this one. I'm going to repeat it. And before you go on the internet and look at what other people are doing, you wake up feeling good about yourself and your life. You have accomplished everything in your life despite all the things people think they need to get where you are. You have no formal education, pedigree, or money in the bank, and yet you succeed every day and support yourself and your family with this work. For real. This is an important one because there is an illusion a lot of times when you're watching people online and what they're doing, especially in the business space, the wellness space, that these people are like super successful and they're making a lot of money. And the reality is that a lot of them aren't. A lot of them aren't supporting themselves with their jobs. That success is a very fluid word. And what I have to remind myself often is that I'm not faking it. This is how I pay my bills. I don't have a day job. I don't have a trust fund. I don't have like something backing me up. This is how I support my family. So this is important for me. You are honest, dedicated, hardworking, funny, and smart. You don't have to belong in a circle. And this is my big thing. You don't have to belong in a circle. You create the circle. You build the community. Other people follow you. Stop acting like a follower and be the leader God intended you to be. You've always known that this was your destiny. Step into that knowing. That is me coaching, guiding, leading myself. That's where you want to be. Where you absolutely look for teachers, absolutely look for the gurus, absolutely look for those partners in co-inspiration, because we're here to work together. We're here to co-inspire. We're here to lift each other up. But you remove that need for someone to lift you up. You do it because it's joyful, because it's expansive, because it feels good, but not because you can't lead yourself. You see the difference? It's that I don't have to go to someone else. It's so funny that the bell went off on my on my laptop as soon as I said that. It's like ding. I don't have to look for outside validation. I don't have to look for outside guidance. I do it because I want to expand. But I know that I have the ability and the capability to, that's the same thing. I know I have the ability to lead myself. So that when I'm getting to those negative thought trains, those places that it's like, it just feels so shitty and it also feels so true, that I can snap myself out of it and say, no. This is not the case. This is not who you are. This is not what you want. This is not what you deserve. This is not the reality. And that's what I teach. That's what I provide and guarantee that I can give to people. And this is what I want you to do today. I want you, the next time you fall into any negative thought train about your career, your finances, your relationship, your body, when you start telling yourself stories about your body, right? Or how you're eating, or how you're behaving, or how you're not good enough, or how you're too much. To stop yourself in those tracks, write down what you're feeling, and then be that leader to yourself. Not just a friend, not just a buddy, not just someone who cheers on and says, like, you're great, but that leader, that coach that says, STFU, you're being ridiculous. This is what you're doing wrong, and this is how to correct it, because this is the reality of who you are. Not what's happened to you, not what you've done, not what you feel like you're experiencing right now, not the fantasy that you've created, not the story that you're telling, but this is actually who you are at your essence. And for me, I'm a child of God, put here to do great things, to say great things, to lift people up, to be a leader, and not to get into ruts of petty jealousy and woe is me and all that other nonsense that I can do to myself. Because it's silly and it wastes time. Whew, Becca quoted me, step into that knowing. I know, right? Step into that knowing. You know who you are, but sometimes it's covered with so many layers of doubt and frustration and hurt and trauma and experience, negative experience, that it's so hard to find it. So that's what I want to help you to uncover, that truth that's under all of it, and then how to live in that truth, how to remind yourself of that truth. My program is action-based. It is not like, you're so great and feel good about yourself. And we don't do a lot of that. We do a little bit of it. You mostly do it for each other when you're in the program. And what's really, really beautiful about the program is that this is going to be the 4th round. And then I have about 60 people from the first 3 rounds who come in and continue to do the work with you and continue to support you. So like every round gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and the community gets bigger, and they're like so active. They post in the private Facebook group every single day. And it's like it's not like oh, we love each other, you're great. It's like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Why are you effing up? We're going to fix this. And this is how to do it. It's action oriented. There's practical steps. I'm all about the practical. I'm all about that. These are the things that you need to do to get where you want to be. And I help you to create those for yourself. Like, you do the work and I'm there for the support, and it's honest support and it's direct support. It's not coddling. It's loving. It's compassionate. It's non-judgmental, but it's real. It's like truth. It's not like truth. It is truth. So, I missed where you commented, Sharon, how to say your last name, but I will look back and I'll make sure that it's right every single time that you come on and say hello. And hello, Amber says that she loves this and it's so powerful and true. And just to remind you guys, and I see an oh my God, wow. And Jessica says, so are you saying that some people's success is just a front? It's not that it's just a front, but it's like, what is the real story? So my thing is that if I'm going to learn from someone, I want to know exactly what they've done with no illusion. So I'm super honest. Like, if you ask me how I make my money, I tell you exactly how I make my money. If you ask me, like, does it support you or is it just a hobby? Like, I will tell you that too. I tell you when I'm happy. I tell you when I'm sad. I tell you when I'm doing great. I tell you when I'm fucking up. Like, I am here in full transparency because I think that's the only thing that truly serves. That's what I believe is the only thing that truly serves is full transparency. I'm not here to present a fantasy, because if you guys follow a fantasy, then that is not solid ground to build upon. Like, I want you guys building upon bedrock, not sand. And when you build upon a fantasy, that's exactly what you're doing. You're building upon sand. So this is the real stuff. This is the real stuff. Okay, so just to remind you guys, the link for Block to Bliss and more on the story and the history of how I came to do this particular piece of work is in the video description. It's on the first line, and I am here to answer any questions that you have. If you want to comment with a question, if you want to do it privately, you're absolutely welcome to email me or send me a direct message, not through this page, through my personal profile. Or if you want to go into my private Facebook community, which is also linked in the video description, you can ask there, and there you'll find an amazing community of 3,500 people who are so welcoming, loving, supportive. It's a zero asshole zone, like nobody sucks. And it's a very fun and beautiful and wonderful place for me to hang out every day. So I invite you to that private Facebook community that you can find linked in the video description. But that's what we do. The work is good. It is worth every penny. It has changed my life. It's changed my husband's life. It has changed the lives of every single person that's gone through it. It is unique. It is special. It is different. It is real. It is effective. It is not a rah-rah cheerleader group. It is the real deal. It's something that once you do it, you don't need to do it again. If you've read a million self-help books, if you've done a whole bunch of different programs, if you've failed or fucked up at every single one of them, if you've quit early, this program is for you. It is about accountability. It is about integrity. integrity. It is about truth. It is about showing up for yourself. And when you don't show up for yourself, you will feel like shit about it. So then that's where you want to be. You want to be a person who has the greatest level of integrity, who shows up in truthfulness and honesty every single day, and that really relies on themselves, herself, himself, to be that leader of self. And that is something that this work does for you. It's the only work that I'll ever do for the rest of my life, because I practice it every single day and I can't get away from it. I can tell you that I can't even tell a white lie since I've done this work. It is impossible for me to lie about anything ever, even to my kids. Like, even it's like, I didn't throw that thing away, that noisy toy. Like, I have to tell them I hate the noisy toy and I threw it away. It is impossible for me to not show up in 100% integrity at all times. And if I start slipping out of integrity, like I do with these negative thought trains, I can correct myself right away. And if that's something you want, if you want the madness, the cycles, the negative thought trains, the loop of anxiety, depression, the highs, the lows, if you want that to stop for good, join me. It's like, I can't tell you enough. This is the time. I have people on the waiting list that like didn't sign up. And I'm like, what are you waiting for? And also, I'm writing my second book this year, and I do not think I'm running this program again this year. If I do, it's going to be towards winter. So jump on it. I love you guys so much. Thank you for joining me today. I say this a lot, but when you show up for me, I feel compelled to show up for you. I'm here every Monday through Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern here on the BEXLIFE page on Facebook. And if you're watching in YouTube land, make sure that you comment below. I love you guys too. So see you soon.
I have a website called BEXLIFE.com where I share my life as a wife and a mother of 5, and also where I teach people how to love themselves more through living mindfully. I'm also the author of a brand new book, You Have 4 Minutes to Change Your Life, and I can't wait for you to read it. I've taught hundreds of thousands of people.